All right. We're back here on the Rally Pod with a very special guest listed at 5'9 3/4. He's a bullpen catcher, the Chicago Marathon finisher, and he's the king of Chicago. White Sox Dave from Barstool Sports, Barstool, Chicago. Dave, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Beautiful weather outside in Chicago. Haven't really seen much of it because I've been inside all day, but it looks sunny out. I'm doing great though. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Yeah.
There we go.
Other than the Reds just being pretty mediocre and just kind of being half foot in, half foot out, But other than that, we're okay, I guess.
All right. So I wanted to start real quick from the beginning because obviously I'm a fan of Barstool Chicago. We'll both are.
Yeah.
But I've never heard the story. You grew up in Chicago, I assume. So how did you grow up being a White Sox fan besides being a Cubs fan?
So my dad, I'll give the half version of the story to make it quicker.
Yeah.
My mom's from New Jersey, Toms River, where Todd Frazier went. You guys know Todd Frazier, Junior Red fans. And his dad was my mom's gym teacher in high school. So they went to the same high school, years apart, obviously. Then her cousins moved out to Chicago and moved to the same town my dad grew up in. My dad, until he was 12 years old, grew up just a few blocks from Sox Park, though, on the south side.
There we go.
And then moved out to the suburbs where I grew up. So my mom's a Mets fan, kinda, not really a sports fan. My dad's a diehard crazy person, White Sox fan. So obviously you kind of take part after your dad for the most part. And that's what I did. And I hate the Cubs. He hates the Cubs. My whole family hates the Cubs. That's just how it goes here. If you're a true diehard baseball fan, you pick one or the other. You don't pick, you're not a Chicago fan. Right. So I hate the Cubs. I love the White Sox, and that's pretty much how it went.
Did it make the World Series back in 2005? Did it make it that much better?
Oh yeah, it was amazing because they admittedly the White Sox are the second team in the town, and Sox Park's great, but there's not much around it. Wrigley's got Wrigleyville, it's got it's got all the bars and restaurants, and it's a fun time. So naturally, you're going to gravitate towards that unless you grew up right by where the White Sox play on the south side, I should say. And so everybody was rooting for the Cubs to break their 100-year curse, but the Sox broke it before them. So it was a great bragging rights thing until 2016.
There we go.
So Dave, I want to kind of get into this year's White Sox team. Obviously a hot start. And one of the big reasons has been the rotation. It's been dominant. What do you see? How do you want to see Michael Kopech used? Because I know he's been kind of in and out of the rotation. He's been in high leverage games. He pitched against the Reds, I remember a couple of weeks ago, in kind of a late inning, high leverage reliever role, but he's also been a starter. You've mentioned you think he's got a couple $100 million arm. So this year, do you want to kind of see him as a late innings guy, or would you like to see him just go for the rotation? Let's just have the nastiest rotation possible.
Yeah. I think right now, and White Sox fans we're starving for success right now. And the rebuild was painful because they had to trade Chris Sale and Quintana and Eaton and a bunch of other guys when they were at their peaks in their primes of their career. So we want success. And when we don't get instant results, a lot of times you'll see us freaking out because we know how quick a window shuts, as referenced by the Cubs. That was open and closed in 5 years, and they're going to be getting ready to sell. And we don't want to take any game for granted. So if they have a bad game, we're going to be in meltdown mode because we know every game matters. But with Kopech, I think that the vast majority of the fans really, really like how they're handling him right now because he hasn't pitched since 2018 in an actual game situation. So the rotation's been so good so far. Just keep, spot started on doubleheaders. Keep him in those high leverage late inning roles where you give him 2-3 innings and he goes and completely shuts the door. That when he came in against the Reds 2 weeks back or whatever, 10 days ago or so, that was by far and away the worst he's looked all year. And he still got out of it. I mean, he didn't get the loss in that extra inning game. But he's a freak. I think that they're probably going to cap him around 130, 140 innings prior to the playoffs. And once the playoffs come, like, I think it's just you're taking the leash off. And I think that's the perfect way to handle him because they don't really need him in the rotation right now because Rodon, Cease, and Lynn have been so good. Giolito is going to come back. He's going to be the normal Giolito we know. And then you got Lance Lynn who can, give you 5, 6, 7 quality innings every fifth day. So I think what they're doing right now with him is the perfect way to handle it. But eventually, like come next year, he will be in the rotation, and I think he could be like a Garrett Cole level type pitcher. He's that good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So one thing that's kind of been, I feel like a point of contention for White Sox fans, yourself included, and it was kind of like even like from a baseball fan perspective, a bewildering hire, I'd say, was Tony La Russa. And I know you've made it known you're not the biggest Tony La Russa fan. How worried are you? Like, I know a manager in baseball is a little bit different, but are you worried at all? Like, he could kind of screw this up, or are you kind of like, the players at the end of the day in baseball, players are kind of win?
Yeah. So I didn't hate the hire like a lot of people did. I didn't really like it because I wanted Hinch because he's the new age guy. He's the math guy. He's the pull the strings correctly guy. He's been in baseball recently. But Tony La Russa, like, he's got 3 championships. People are like, oh, there's no way he's going to know how to manage someone like a Tim Anderson type personality because he's so exuberant and he wears his emotions on his sleeves. It's like, how do you say that when this guy managed Ricky Henderson and Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco and didn't just manage them to World Series titles, This guy knows how to he's a master communicator. Now, on the field this year, he's done some dumb things, and to his defense, he's worn it. Like, he'll go in the post-game interview and he'll be like, yeah, that was dumb of me. And like the first time I appreciated it, the second and third time I was like, you can't just come admit your mistakes after every game when like you shouldn't be making these mistakes. Like, you're watching on TV or either at the game and you're like, what are you doing? You can't do that. But in the end, I think especially in the last couple of weeks, he's gotten in a groove. And like you said, a lot of that's like the players, like anybody can manage a team. If a pitcher goes 7 shutout innings, give the ball to your best relief arm in the 8th and then your closer in the 9th. And if you're up by 5, you're going to win the baseball game. It doesn't take a genius to do that. But I think he'll settle in. I know the players really like him. Just because he's older and he's been away from the game doesn't mean he's not his baseball mind didn't just up and leave with him, it's still there. And like as much as he's pissed me off on a handful of occasions this year, like he's Tony La Russa, and he's a better manager than Ricky Renteria. And so long as the team just keeps playing like they're playing right now, like he's not gonna even have an opportunity to really mess too much up.
Yeah. I will say, as a Reds fan, I do hate the guy. I know I've been cheering for the White Sox. I've been betting a lot of money on the White Sox. Yeah. But I do not like Tony La Russa, obviously because of his stint in St. Louis. But
yeah,
I respect the guy. He's an old school baseball guy, so I got to respect it. But speaking of gambling, we are obviously in Ohio. It's not gambling is not legal here, unfortunately. So we have to drive to Indiana to place all our bets. We're waiting for the Barstool Sportsbook to open.
It's open as of an hour ago.
Okay. Well, there we go. Because
Indiana, yeah.
Later tonight, or later in this interview, I'm going to ask you for some picks. But Zach has a really good question here because we were talking about it the night it happened.
Yeah, so it was last week, and I was like shocked when you have your bets that the boosters, the Andrew Vaughn call, the home run and the White Sox win. It was like plus 1100.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a call because I was like, Andrew Vaughn, I like Andrew Vaughn a lot, but hasn't hit a home run this year. But you were all over it. You were like, he's going yard tonight. How did you foresee that? Or was that just like your feeling? It was incredible.
Obviously, like, you can't predict the future, but like if you watch these guys every single game, like, all right, so this Andrew Vaughn has struggled with a couple things. High velocity because he hasn't really seen it yet. He hasn't played above low A. Then he struggled with like nastiness, like filthy wipeout slider, because he hasn't seen that yet. He's just like inexperienced in that realm because he didn't take the normal progression through the minor league system. So, but he has pounded left-handed pitching, and Jay Happ he's not nasty. He's a guy that will get you out in the zone. like if he's throwing the ball outside the zone, he's going to walk a bunch of people and he's going to give up runs that way. So he doesn't want to. So he depends on weak contact on pitches that are strikes. So I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about, I'm like, all right, he's going to hit a home run eventually. J-Happ doesn't throw hard. He's not going to be like some nasty pitcher that's like effectively wild, which Andrew Vaughn, like I said, has struggled with a little bit. Like compare those two things, and then on top of it being a lefty, like he's got a really good shot of going yard tonight. So that was my thought process when I hit up Penn and gave them the bet to make. I'm like, hey, like this is what I want to do tonight. I think there's a really, and obviously Penn doesn't necessarily like it because they're losing money, but I'm betting too. Like it's not like I'm giving money by Penn to gamble with. That'd be illegal. So I put $100 on it. It was, and like I felt really, really confident about that one. Like anytime the Sox are facing a lefty, you can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be at least one home run, and it's going to be from one of Abreu, Anderson, now Yermin Mercedes, and Andrew Vaughn I would throw in that category. So at that point, you kind of got like a 1 in 25 or a 25% chance, 1 in 4 chance that you're going to hit the bet, even though it's at plus 1,000-ish odds. So that was my whole thought process there.
By the way, and this is just a follow-up. Like, so you make that bet yourself? Like, you make the Andrew Vaughn?
Yeah, I contact Penn and tell them what I want that day. So today it's a righty on the mound. Yohan Moncada has been swinging a great bat, and he's just missing the ball by this much. So I think he's got a good shot at going yard tonight. He's been on fire, but he's been hitting like line drives, gap to gap. But tonight, I think he's going to connect on one, get a little under it, and it's going to go out of the park. He's been on fire the last, 5 games.
Well, you mentioned Yermin Mercedes, and, I didn't know – I'm a pretty big baseball fan. I couldn't have picked Yermin Mercedes out of a lineup.
No, nobody could have.
How?
Nobody outside of White Sox fans could have. So he was a minor league Rule 5 pick. So once you have a certain amount of time in the minors so he was an international signee. So it's after him, it's 5 years. If he was a high school draft pick, it'd be 6 years. And then if he was a college draft pick, I want to say it's 4 years because it's all different age. And that's when if you're not on the 40-man roster at that point, another team can select you and just either put you on the big league roster or they can stow you away in the minors there's a whole lot of intricacies for the rule. So the White Sox took him from the Nationals, and he has zero position. He can't catch. He's actually got a hose, but he can't run, can't field, can't receive a baseball as a catcher. But so he's like a born-bred DH. And if you look at his numbers, White Sox fans have been really, really hammering, hey, give this guy a shot because he kills the ball. And he killed the ball all through his progression through the minors. It just took him legit he's 28 years old. I'm assuming he signed when he was a teenager, so it took him 10 years to get to the show, but it wasn't because he can't hit, and it's not obviously he's not going to hit 370 or whatever he's hitting on the year.
Yeah,
but if you watch his approach, he knows what he's doing up there. He shortens up with 2 strikes. He's got great barrel control. He can hit balls out of the strike zone and just bloop them for singles. His bat is here to stay. I think by the end of the season, him hitting 300 with 25 bombs is a perfectly reasonable guess right now as it sits, because he really, really knows how to hit. He just can't play the field literally anywhere. You can't stick him at first base. You can't do anything.
So I want to ask. I want to do a little lightning round with you. I got a bunch of just kind of random questions I'm going to throw at you. So, what's your go-to concession order at the Sox game?
A brat with grilled onions and sauerkraut.
Love it.
Who's your
loaded with mustard?
No ketchup. favorite White Sox of all time?
Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas. Who's the best former Red turned White Sox? Billy Hamilton, Adam Dunn, Todd Frazier, or Ken Griffey Jr.?
Oh, man. Dunn had one good year where he hit I want to say he hit like 48 bombs, but other than that, he was horrific. Griffey was already cooked at that point, but he had a huge diving catch in he had in game 163 against Minnesota in 2008. He had an outfield assist that ended the game, and it was like one of the best moments in Sox history. Billy Hamilton, he plays hard. Like I think once Engel gets back, he'll probably be the odd man out. He'll get DFA'd. But I actually kind of like Billy Hamilton. Like he's not good, but
he serves a purpose on a good team.
Yeah, he's certainly like on a good team, he could be a 26 man.
Yeah.
And then who's the other one?
Todd Frazier.
I hated Frazier. Paul Konerko is what you should have said.
I know Paul Konerko. Yeah, he's around for a week or two, and I was thinking I forgot about.
Literally, he only had like 8 at bats for the Reds, but then they traded. It was Mike Cameron, I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, who had a great career. Both had great careers.
And then I got 2 off the White Sox path here. Choose one: Old Country Buffet mac and cheese or Hooters wings.
Kruger's wings?
No, Hooters.
Hooters. Oh, I was like, I would probably, honestly, the wings at Hooters, I think they're fine, but the Old Country Buffet mac and cheese is elite.
I like it.
And then favorite Outback menu item: the Bloomin' Onion or the Mad Max burger?
Mad Max burger. Like the size of a football.
Okay, so I have just 2 random questions. These are fucking slanderous comments made about you, and I didn't want to mention it, but I had to. They're slanderous, Dave.
Yeah, they are. They're awesome.
You have been called a mouse by El Prez, and most recently a turtle by Whitney. Which one is more slanderous?
Whitney's a fucking moron. Tell him I said that. Whitney stinks. Whitney is such an idiot. Like he calls me a turtle, and then he's got a legit picture of him getting his face caved in with his hockey pads over his head, literally like a turtle.
Okay, and then all right. So obviously, I just got into Barstool Chicago. Zach actually introduced me to it this year, so earlier in the fall. And I've been re-listening all the snake drafts and stuff. There is a clear fraud going on. You are getting screwed out of all these drafts.
I am.
I am not voting for you. But how do we I'm not voting for you to be out of the poll. You know what I mean? So how are we going to fix this? How are we going to bring back White Sox Dave?
Yeah. I mean, it's on the people at this point. Like they know what they're doing. They know that they're just trying to be funny people, but they're all the leader. They can't think for themselves. They're incapable of it. So it's on them. It's not on me.
Dave, the only guy I'm leaving off a poll is a guy who chooses burrata salad.
That's right. That's it.
Yeah, I know. Who eats a burrata salad when they're ordering appetizers?
Also, stop letting Carl win. It's getting old.
Yeah. Carl.
That'll come full circle eventually.
Yeah.
Trust me on that one.
All right, this is one last question. This is the last question for me. What's it like being the horniest guy in the office?
I'm not the horniest. I'm normal horny. Like, people are always like, "Oh, you're so horny." No, I just verbalize what everybody's thinking, and I'm not afraid to. Like everything that I say on the podcast is said when we're not recording. So, and once you hit record, they're all like, "Fucking, oh, I don't want to say that out loud." I'm the only one who's not afraid. So,
you're the realest one. You're the realest one.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it boils down to.
Zach, last questions?
I think that's it. Dave, we loved having you on. We'd love to have you on again. If the White Sox continue this, maybe we can continue staying hot. Maybe we can keep asking you or give us a little tease of maybe a guy you see and this guy might hit a home run off a righty tonight or something. But we appreciate it.
Yeah, I think Yohan's going yard tonight. So
okay, yeah. Last question. What's your pick? What's your picks for tonight? I'm gonna go place a parlay right now.
I think Yohan's going yard. I would take let me look real quick. So I've been making a lot of money off the White Sox, which is not typical for me. Baseball in general, I was never really, but this year I've cleaned up on baseball. What's the over/under set at?
Let's see.
I think it's 8. I got 8.5 right now.
Okay, I would bet the under.
Okay.
because I think Lynn's going to shut down the Twins. And then I think it'll be like a 5-1 game, 5-2 game, something like that, with Yohan doing a lot of the damage. Braves still out for the next tonight and tomorrow, I believe. And then obviously Eloy and Robert are out, so that's like all the big mashers. I think that the under would be the safe play today.
I like it.
I like it. Well, Dave, we appreciate it. You can follow Dave on Twitter at BarstoolWSD. Anything else you want to plug?
No, that's it. Thanks for having me.
Go win us a snake draft, Dave.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm trying. I think I got a good shot this week.
I think you do too.
All right. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you, fellas. I'll see you soon. All right.
Yep.